Hey, how's it going, everybody? It's Jesse with the REALTOR Real Estate Group here at eXp Realty. And I wanted to give you a real quick kind of market update as to what's going on. So now we're into the second week of July here in 2018. And of course, every month we kind of get the stats that come out with where inventory sits and what the prices have done compared to this time last year, as well as compared to the previous month. And look, I'm not going to spew a bunch of stats at you, right? I really just want to kind of give you a brief summary and sort of explain what it means for you if you're a seller or if you're a buyer. So look, the short version of this is that we're at an all-time high for inventory over the last decade. So we have more listings right now for sale in the greater Edmonton area than we have since the financial crisis and the real downturn in the economy back in 2008. So obviously it doesn't take a rocket scientist to figure out, simple supply and demand. When there's a lot for sale, right, and there's fewer buyers for that product, prices are going to come down. And if you watched any of my market updates in the past, even like really over the past couple of years, it's been like very, very slow drops in prices and an increase in days on market and an increase in inventory, right? So, but now when you look at that, from let's say late 2015 to now, and you kind of compound that over 2.5 years here, there's been a pretty decent drop in prices. So, I do a lot of business in Leduc and Edmonton, some of the surrounding communities as well. And other places have taken a harder hit than others. So the city of Edmonton itself, in the more mature neighborhoods, they're doing fine, right? If you have a home that's priced well in a mature neighborhood, it's still going to sell. If you're in some of the outlying kind of suburb type communities, there's a lot of inventory, that newer style, especially 2-story homes. There's a lot of inventory, and so those can be very difficult to sell right now. St. Albert, Sherwood Park, they're kind of chugging along okay. Places like Spruce Grove and Leduc, Beaumont, a massive amount of inventory versus the amount of buyers out there. So we're seeing a more significant drop in prices in those communities compared to the city of Edmonton itself. So look, why do we have so much inventory right now? Well, there's a few different factors. Obviously, the downturn in the economy has a huge impact on anything. But in addition to that, it's like, if you look, the average Canadian moves every 4.3 or 4.4 years, whatever that is. So the peak of our real estate market over the last decade was 2013, 2014. So that's, 4 or 5 years ago. So all those people that bought houses in 2013, 2014 that are looking to move, all of a sudden they realize that they don't really have much equity. And then you add on top of that, the mortgage rule changes, their buying power just doesn't go as far as it once did. So all of those things combined are kind of making this really sluggish, slow real estate market from a seller's perspective. Okay, but look, if you're thinking about selling and you also need to buy something, look, there's no perfectly balanced market. One of those two things, selling or buying, is not going to be ideal. And right now that's selling. But on the flip side of that, if you're buying right now, it's a pretty great time to be a buyer. Interest rates have creeped up over the past 18 months, but they're still very, very low, right? You can actually, I saw Jason Roy, shout out to Jason Roy, great mortgage broker. He just put a 4-year mortgage at 2.99% still. So you're still getting under 3% in some places. So really, really great mortgage rate still. So awesome time to be a buyer. Obviously, you have a ton to choose from. So you don't have to be rushed. You can take your time buying. You're not going to feel pressure. Very rarely are you competing with other buyers unless you're in a mature neighborhood with a very renovated house. Good luck as a buyer. So as a buyer, you can take your time. You're not feeling rushed. Interest rates are really, really low and you have plenty to choose from. And prices are lower than what they would have been a couple of years ago. So it's an awesome time to be a buyer. And chances are that things are going to improve price-wise over the next little bit here. I think they're going to remain fairly flat, if not even go down a little bit more before they start going back up. But it's not going to be anything significant, right, over the next 18 months or so. Anyways, I tried to keep this brief, and here I am almost approaching 5 minutes again. But as always, if you have any questions about your specific situation, please feel free to contact me for a no obligation, really low pressure conversation about your real estate needs. Hope everybody has an awesome day. We'll talk soon.